from different places, we all have different names. No matter what life brings us, Jesus is the same. We're just your Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, how's everybody?
Oh, it's going great. No complaints.
That's good. One thing I keep thinking about all day today is how I really love the warm weather. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I loved it because I really did not like the cold weather. And this is so weird because I'm a cold shower person. Like, how can I not like the cold weather? But then I really like cold showers. I don't
if I wanted it cold, I would get in the shower.
Yes, exactly.
Whatever people who like cold showers say, I wouldn't know.
Yep. No, that's it. It's control of the cold. Sorry, I have a mint in my mouth again, so now my voice sounds weird.
That's okay.
Actually, I chewed the mint, so it doesn't sound weird anymore.
I'm glad you're giving us like up to date, minute by minute updates on your mint.
Oh yeah, that's true. I did that last episode, and I was talking about it before the episode that I wasn't going to do that. That I was going to have a mint in my mouth, and it was going to district me from what I was saying. But it happened again, so it's a double episode mint extravaganza.
Double the pleasure, double the fun, double the
statement of the great mint.
Double mint gum.
This week's podcast imaginary sponsor is Double Mint Gum. So go buy some Double Mint Gum and we won't see any of the profit.
I will go to the imaginary grocery store where they have the imaginary line that has the Double Mint Gum available.
Yeah.
And the imaginary cashier will check out for me. Check me out.
Do you know that's a real gum? You know that.
Yeah, it's a real gum.
It is?
Yeah, and we literally quoted the commercial.
Oh.
It just had a bunch of twins in it. But yeah, you could go to the imaginary grocery store and not leave with Double Mint Gum, or you could just go to a real one and actually buy it. But we still want profit from it, so do whatever you want. I don't care.
Okay, good to know. Excellent.
That's amazing. Well, what have you guys been up to this past week?
I can go first. Let's see. So there's two major things. The first, in chronological order here, is that I'm really centering, I don't know, this is like my Lenten thing that's evolving, that's evolving into something else. So it started with reading the book idea, and that's still on my radar, like super important. But I realize that it's evolving into really getting control of my time, really understanding what it is that I'm doing with my time. So like for instance, on every given morning, I get up and I go on YouTube for like 40 minutes at least. And I'm not even watching any videos most of the time. I'm just like looking at the videos, being like, oh, this is a cool video I could save to my playlist. And just like looking for interesting content, or I might watch a few seconds or up to maybe a minute of one video before going on to another one. And it's just full on, like just something I don't want to be doing anymore, essentially.
Just watch all the videos at 2 times the speed, Tim. And
that might work, actually.
Efficient.
Yeah, you know what? If I do find myself drawn to YouTube and I cannot help it for the life of me, then set that to 2 times speed. That's a good tactic.
And then you can like scroll at 2 times the speed as well, and then cut that time down to 20 minutes. I'm saving you time left and right.
Nice. Very cool. It's kind of funny because when I listen to Pastor Jim's sermons 2 times the speed, after the sermon is done, I'm like, wait, am I supposed to be thinking at 2 times the speed now? Am I supposed to be moving at 2 times the speed now? Like, is everything supposed to be going at 2 times the speed?
I think I'm thinking at 2 times the speed anyway, so it's just at the right pace for my brain.
Right. Indeed. Excellent. Yeah. So, like, long story short, I guess I gave the long story. So, basically, what it comes down to is I really want to be focusing my time on important things only. And important, I use extremely inclusively. So important is just what I deem important, which could be like watching anime or watching a movie or like saying hi to my dog or something like that. Like stuff that actually matters to me. But I want to completely cut out things that I deem as unimportant at a given time. Like maybe 3 months ago, I thought going on YouTube and saving videos was a good idea, but now I don't. And I think it's unimportant. So what I'm going to do now is if I ever find myself in that circumstance where I'm doing what I consider unimportant activities, I'm just going to sit there and be bored. Like there's value in being bored, like not getting, grabbing the phone and just suddenly distracting ourselves with content that we really didn't intend on looking at in the first place. So I think it's important when you are sitting there in boredom, then you could be like, what do I really want to do? And then you make a purposeful decision. So that's what I'm going to do. Like starting, I guess I failed today. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to start doing that. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not going to first thing go on YouTube and waste time. I'm going to like, I don't know, get ready for the day or do something a little bit more valuable with my time. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is I've got so much like information from my coworkers about this anime called Solo Leveling. And they keep recommending it to me. Like I've had like 3 people recommend the show to me and talk to me about it consistently. And so finally I decided to watch it. I watched the first season of the show. And I got to say, like, the content in that show is like pretty much life changing as far as like self improvement is concerned, and it actually has this like low key connection with like Christianity, where it has this idea of a reawakening for the main character, and then like he's able to progress like way more than any other like character in the show, because it's all about like leveling up and like becoming stronger and being able to like fight these battles more effectively and stuff like that. And before he had the reawakening, he was just like in this stagnant sort of position, like regarding his strength and being able to like progress and so forth. And then he had like a reawakening, and then suddenly he can like do all the things. And so like that, I think, is kind of how it is to be a Christian. Like before we find Jesus, we're kind of like not really able to progress so much in our lives. But once we find Jesus and we're born again, then like everything is different, everything is new, and we're transformed, and everything is like really we can love God and love our neighbor, and we can just like be the best person that we really can be with God on our side. So that was wait, what?
Be all that you can be in the army.
That's also a real commercial. Jessica and I didn't just make that up like we're simultaneously in a musical and nobody explains how we picked up the song.
Although a musical full of TV commercials would be hilarious.
It would. I'd watch it. It could be like, are these real products? I don't know.
And it would be called Advertise Music. Yeah, something. Anyways.
Yeah, maybe that was the whole reason why I brought up any of this, so that we could get to that point of being able to sing the next part of the advertisement. It's kind of like the Andy Warhol of musicals,
basically.
Or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah,
well, that's fun stuff, though, Tim.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna give you some of my unsolicited advice.
What?
So one thing I struggle with too is waking up and like getting on my phone somehow, like not somehow, but somehow my phone
somehow it just goes to your hands.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, who are you? But I'll get on my phone and I'm like, trying to see like updates in terms of like work. Like I always will look at my phone. I'll double check to make sure and see what meetings I have, that kind of stuff. But like one thing I started doing, and I'm not like perfect at this, but it at least is there, is I've downloaded the Bible app, and on that app, they have, you know, Bible plans and like Bible studies that you can do. And it's like a daily thing that you can sign up for. So you could look through their different plans, and maybe there's like a 6-week plan that sounds good to you. And it could be on time.
Yeah.
Or it
Yeah.
could be, doesn't matter.
Yeah, or it doesn't matter. Right now I'm doing Journeying with Jesus 40 Days Lent Devotional. And I have not been perfect at it. However, it has a devotional, like it's like a maybe 1 minute long read, and then it has a Bible verse to go with it. And that's literally what I'll do first thing in the morning is I'll grab the phone, and then I'm like, oh, this is easy. It takes me less than 5 minutes, like literally probably 3 minutes.
Wow.
It has a prayer included. And so it's like you get this nice little devotional that's already out for you. All you have to do is read it. And then, yeah.
You could if you wanted to, like, and if you know what time you start scrolling, if it's like in the morning at the same time or whatever.
Like immediately when I get up, like legitimately.
Okay. So then you should like, give yourself 5-10 minutes, but like set an alarm, like devotional time, and then that'll go off and that'll disrupt the pattern and maybe, so to speak, like allow yourself like 5-10 minutes of YouTube scroll, but then like the second that timer goes off, you got to switch to your
Wow. Yeah, those are both really good perspectives. I didn't think of the daily devotional being a first thing in the morning kind of activity.
That's existed for like a quick minute. So thank you for reminding me about that too, Jessica, because I'm not doing anything devotional wise.
Yeah, I was, and then I could never like fit it into my schedule, which really is I would find time to fit God into my schedule in other ways. But like I wanted to do a devotional, and I talked about it on the podcast before, I think. So that's a perfect time to do it. That's awesome.
Actually, I think the Bible app has its own like reminder, and you can, it'll say,
oh yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's probably like, hey, you got to do your devotional. And then it's got like an exclamation point or something.
It kills you. It's like, you don't have time for God?
Yeah, basically. I mean, honestly, I didn't put any reminders because for me, it's like,
I just ignore them all. It doesn't matter. I'm the worst.
Yeah, I feel like there's some times where it's like, I want it to be something where I'm really, not that I don't want to all the time, but
like you're forced to do it. Like your alarm is.
Oh, then it's right. Then you just ignore it or something.
Now that you told me to, alarm. Yeah, I get that.
So that's kind of what I've, kind of done with it. But
that's great.
And then it's okay if you don't do it every day. That's totally fine.
Right. Exactly.
Progress, not perfection.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Just get back on the bandwagon. I think that's how it is with the Christian life in general. Like we will falter every so often, but just get back on and continue on the faith journey. That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's great.
What about you? What have you been up to? No problem.
Yeah. So, Jessica, do you want to share your update or Beth?
I'll go. I'll switch it up a little bit here.
Okay.
Let's see. So this past week has been crazy. I wish I could be getting more sleep.
Get better anytime soon, and I'm so sorry.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
So if for those that aren't aware, I am pregnant. And
we haven't been talking about it on the podcast at all until today.
We are 5 days away from me being induced.
Oh.
And last Tuesday or Wednesday, I started like experiencing some itching, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is very uncomfortable. And I was like, maybe I just need to put like some Benadryl cream on this or something. And, and then the next day it was like, a little bit worse. And then it's like basically just been progressively worse. And I want to say the past few days is when I started getting, like, if I scratch, a rash will accompany it.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh my gosh.
and there's two different things that can happen in pregnancy. One, there's like liver issues that can occur that can cause itching. And so I had blood work done and all my liver stuff came back normal within range. So the other skin condition that can occur is called PUPS.
Is that when you're allergic to your baby? growing out of you?
But sort of. No, I mean, honestly, what I've read is like there's not like a direct cause, but the most common denominator for women who get PUPS are two things. One, I forgot, and two, it's the one that I'm aware of, which is like just the first one is hormones. That's what it was.
Okay.
I'm like, well, of course, I have so much.
I thought it might have been memory issues.
Right. I forgot. Oh, it was memory issue. No, but it's if you have like if you like gain weight at a faster rate than normal, which is what happened, because at 36 weeks, I didn't have any stretch marks. And then all of a sudden I had stretch marks, and like, it was like, I just grew.
Whoa.
Like, I just like exploded, and I just like grew.
Oh my gosh.
So because of that, the skin stretching and the body trying to respond, that kind of stuff. Basically I'm stuck like this until I give birth. So I have not been able to sleep because it itches so bad. I've been taking cold oatmeal baths. I've been taking cold showers.
Wow.
So you love the warm weather.
I literally feel like I'm just on a wonderful vacation. But anyway, I've like been thinking, and I'm like, is this like a glimpse into what Job's life was like, with like feeling like they were just suffering?
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's just pregnancy.
It's not like, oh, this itches and then it stops. It's like,
whatever.
Imagine having 1,000 mosquito bites, and you're like, once you start itching, you know how you just like can't stop itching.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then when you're done itching it like burns and it stings.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think what shingles is like, because my grandma had shingles like a couple times because they didn't give her the vaccine like the first time. I don't know. Anyway, that sounds like shingles. Like it's very painful.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fun. But anyways, as I'm itching, but basically. What I told my doctor, and they're going to give me something that's stronger than hydrocortisone, but and like a tablet, and maybe I'll get it within the next day.
Hour.
Right.
The next minute.
But other than that, I mean, I slept with ice packs on me so that I could like not itch.
Oh,
it's like a whole nother level, and I'm so grateful that this is only happening
in the last
week.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I've heard women have this at like 31 weeks is when it starts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how they do it. I get up at like 1 a.m. and I'm like, I can't sleep.
Whoa.
So that is my update, and it is an aggressive update.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
But I just want people to be aware, like, it happens. This is a very normal thing. It happens to pregnant women, and there's nothing there's no foods that you can avoid to try to prevent it. I've heard dandelion root tea, so I've been drinking that, which tastes like coffee and tea at the same time.
Weird.
Yeah, but I've been drinking that. It's been crazy, guys. So
Wow.
to say that I'm ready for this child to come out is an understatement.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Whoa.
We have a countdown in the house right now, and I am excited to flip that to 4 tomorrow. So,
I was just imagining, the first thing I was imagining is that your skin, like a comic, like you're in the comic, Jessica, and like your skin is just like taking over your whole body or something, like it's wrapping around your body or something. And then I just imagine, you mentioned about you're being ready as an understatement, and I was thinking like when you give birth, it's like now it's like a rocket ship or something, like taking off. You're back to normal. Everything is perfect and good, and your body's like snapped back to normal, and it's amazing. So
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to play as the baby comes out is Rocket Man by Elton John.
I thought you should say the push it real good.
By Salt and Pepper.
That was in a Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode, and probably any other episode where babies have been born. But
yeah,
I think Captain Holt even danced, I think.
Oh, Captain Holt.
I know, rest in peace.
Yeah.
He was the best.
Yeah. Anyway.
And Jessica, I'm going to read the book of Job. Thank you for that reminder. Now I see it in a new light.
It's all about blisters and all this other stuff, man.
Yeah, just content warning. Blisters.
Yeah.
There will be talk about blisters and skin conditions.
Yep. Totally. But anyways, Beth, how you
doing? What do you have, Beth? I hope you don't have a rash.
I don't, not yet.
Okay.
I'm getting like a sympathy rash just from Jessica.
Me too. I'm empathizing like I have rashes now.
But like it's contagious through the Zoom screen. I'm just kidding. It wasn't.
Yep.
What is itchy now, and which is making me think about itching. It's fine. Anyway, Tim, what you said about I can't even remember what you said. It was so long ago. I'm just kidding.
It wasn't about rashes.
No, it wasn't. But something about how everything being a Christian,
born again Christian, or just
Christian, where
finding our faith.
Yeah, everything old is new again. That reminded me of a Bare Naked Ladies song, which is called "Everything Old Is New Again," and the chorus is "Everything old is new again, everything under the sun, all of our fears come true again. Recycle, reuse, resent, and refuse our parents' ideals and views." Anyway, it's a pretty good song. I'll send it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Oh, and for Sunday school, I've just been doing like these 5-minute lessons, and then we get on to the crafts because we have our medicine, and then we do the fun stuff. That's what I've been calling it.
Yeah.
And so one was about spring, and the same kind of thing. Everything old is new again. But the verse that we were kind of discussing was Isaiah 43:19, which is, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." So there's some food for thought for you.
That's awesome.
Let's see. So I talked very briefly, and by very briefly, it was the last thing that I said in my update, about the new TV that I got.
Yeah.
And I got a
Conan TV. That's what it was.
I wanted a Samsung, like, because of, I heard, the boxes in the stores like have big pictures of Conan, and it says Conan TV on it. And I was joking with everybody, I want a Conan TV. But then I've been trying to figure out like how I can do the things that I love without annoying everybody in the house. What are the things that I love, you ask? Watching a television show or a movie over and over and over again until everybody but me gets sick of it. And so I'm like, how can I do this without annoying everybody? And I was like, I can just watch TV in my room. And then I was like, but that TV's too small because we have a pretty big TV downstairs. That's why I like that TV. And I'm like, I'm going to need a bigger TV. And so I researched the Samsungs, and they were like pretty cheap. I got a 65-inch for $500. And the fact that it was a Samsung TV was only an added bonus. And I hadn't turned on the Conan TV until just a couple days ago. And now, like, I find I can't turn it off. And it's all I want to watch. I can't even, like, switch to a show because it's random clips from his shows and random, like, remote shoots that they did. Like the one that I just happened upon the other day, it was when Conan took Sona, his assistant, and her friends to Magic Mike 2. And, you know, the hilarity that ensued with that. And anyway, which leads to my next update. Do you guys know who Walton Goggins is?
I don't
think I do.
Okay, he's an actor. Look him up. He's in the show Justified. My brothers both have like kind of a man crush on him. They probably wouldn't appreciate me saying that, but it's fine. They'll never know. But I was watching. He has these glasses that are called Walton Goggins goggle glasses, and that's the name. That's the name. It's so long, it makes me laugh. And so they have commercials on Conan TV. And I think this was probably on the Super Bowl because I looked it up later. But there was a commercial for Walton Goggins goggle glasses, and the slogan made me laugh so hard because if your goggles ain't Goggins, they don't belong on your noggins. So now I want to get my own pair. And then I guess, the last update I would like to tell you, but quietly, is Owen turns 18 on Saturday. And that's weird.
Ooh.
And so now it's like a race against the clock for me to make all of his doctor's appointments while I still can, just to take that off of his plate for now. Because, you know, it's stressful being a senior and an almost adult. And so that's it.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. Like you're having a baby next weekend and I'm having an adult. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Crazy. I feel like they're both like two very scary things. It's like a whole nother level of responsibility. You're like, for me, it's, you know, we're having to navigate the newness. So you're having to navigate the let go-ness.
Yes. And it's like when you have a baby, like your biggest worry is like keeping it alive. That's basically your whole job for like the first, like, you know, until they can start doing stuff on their own, like got to keep this baby alive. And then like, but when you're when they're teenagers, it's the same thing, except it's like, oh, I got to keep my kid alive.
Yeah.
So I don't murder him, you know, not that I want to murder my kids, but there's just so much emotion behind everything. Like everything's emotionally charged. Like,
wow,
it's not when they're babies, but that's why I think you raise kids like gradually. You don't go from like baby to automatically a teenager. Like you have to like work your way up to it. I don't know.
Wow. Actually, I'm really glad you said that. That really makes a lot of sense.
It's like,
they don't just suddenly become a teenager. Wake up. Oh, teenager.
Yeah. You don't go from like learning addition to advanced calculus. Like you work up to that. And it's the same with child rearing. So
wow.
But
yeah. So I want to say that I wish you the best, Jessica, in your pregnancy, and I hope that you kind of bounce back quickly and no more rashes and all that stuff. And then you, Beth, with Owen becoming an adult officially, and I hope that's a really smooth transition, and you're able to have a great relationship with Owen. Anyway, you know.
Yeah. We'll get there eventually. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but I have faith that we'll get there.
Listen, I didn't have a good relationship with my parents until probably my early 20s. So
yeah,
it's okay. It's like I can understand both sides of all of these things.
Yeah.
I think I'm the same boat, Jessica. So
I'm on Owen's side.
No,
but also on your side, Beth.
No. You're not allowed to be on Owen's side because you haven't raised a teenager. So your opinion is not valid to me. It maybe when you're talk to me in 13 years.
We'll have this exact same conversation, and I'll say
that's I also used to be a teenager, and I know what it's like to be a teenager, but it's totally different when you're trying to raise one. And anyway,
something exciting and terrifying to look forward to at the same time.
But my mom says this often, and I know she isn't trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but she says that she enjoys us a lot better now that we're adults than when we were kids. And I get where she's coming from with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Baby steps, and then adolescent steps, and then teenager steps, and then adult steps.
Yep.
And more steps that walk straight into the church for things that happen on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Just like, on Saturday, 29th, Alpha
birthday,
which is it's Owen's birthday. Also our induction date. Also when my family will be here, is the Alpha Christianity course from 12:30 to 2:30. That's in the fireside room. And then on Sunday, 3:30, confirmation classes begin 12:30 to 2. The Spring Boutique is on April 6th. Vendors are needed. And then on Sunday, 4:13, Messy Church, Palm Sunday edition. Chances are Palms will be there.
Maybe. No, there probably will be. I wanted to add one thing, unless you're going to talk about food for thought on Wednesdays and then.
No, go for it. Go for it.
So we do have food for thought on Wednesday from 6 to 7. Is that what it is? 6 to 7:30, I think. Mm-hmm. And we will also be having Kids Club, which starts at 5:30 and goes to 6:30. But this is going to be the last Wednesday Kids Club. What we're going to do is we're going to shut down Kids Club for a little while, and then we're going to open it back up in the summer for an even cooler Kids Club. And it's going to be twice a week for 2 hours instead. No, not twice a week, twice a month for 2 hours. That's too much.
Whoa.
So it'll be
twice a week.
Twice a week.
No.
I know, twice
that
a
out,
month.
Jessica. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it'll be, so we'll have 2 in June, and then probably just 1 in July, because we'll have VBS on one of those instead of Kids Club, and then 2 in August. So stay tuned for that, you guys. And and we're also, if anybody wants to bring in Easter candy donations, we're also looking for donations. You will find bins in the lobby and in the hallway on the way to the Friendship Hall.
Nice.
And we're going to have a really cool Easter egg hunt on the 20th of Easter. The 20th of Easter, you guys.
Wow.
20th of Easter.
That's excellent. What kind of Easter eggs will they be? Will they have candy in them? Will they be actual eggs?
No actual eggs, because those are
out of supply.
I've noticed that I've seen more eggs in the stores. Are they?
Oh, me too.
Prices,
yeah.
Are the prices going down?
I don't know.
I saw some at Costco the other day, but I didn't want to buy any because I'm like, well, maybe the prices are too high, and Jessica and your eggs are way better. So forget about buying store-bought eggs anymore. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
All done.
All done.
You have, I think, 13 or 14 dozen eggs at our house. We have someone getting 5 dozen this week.
You can bring me another 2 dozen if you want, if you'll be at church on Sunday, which you probably won't. No, because you're having a baby. But
I don't think I'll be able to make it this time, Beth.
That's understandable. But if you want to offload any eggs, like, I can come to your house at any time too.
Yeah. If you want to come by tomorrow, you can. Anyways, we'll figure that out.
Okay.
But that is church updates. And now we're going to head into our special Methodist Moment series.
Lenten moment.
Lenten moment.
Methodist moment. And it's Lenten. So what I want to bring up is I think a very interesting turn of events for the Methodist moment. So because I was so inspired by that anime Solo Leveling, and like I don't think it's for everyone, and I don't think anybody's really required to watch it or anything like that, but it was fortunate that I came to an insight about the idea of like being born of the Spirit or born again because of accepting Jesus as our Lord and Savior. And I was just so inspired once I came to this realization that really is so powerful and so like helpful for a person following after Jesus to remember that we are born of the Spirit when we do decide to commit to follow him. And so like I went on ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, tell me about being born again in Christianity. And then I proceeded to, hey, give me some recommendations regarding Christian literature that talks about being born again. And then finally I said, please expand upon books that have to do with like Methodist inspiration. And so I happened to get a recommendation. Before I continue on that, yeah, like as far as using ChatGPT is concerned, your mileage may vary. It's been useful for me, like referencing AI every so often, a little bit better than doing the search engine searches like Google or DuckDuckGo. But so yeah, just thought I'd point that out. It can be useful, but not for everybody. Same thing with Solo Leveling. But happened to find this recommendation, which is so great. And the recommendation is The Scripture Way of Salvation by John Wesley. It's an actual sermon that's in the public domain. And I happened to find it on BiblePortal.com when I searched the book. And so, yeah, it's freely available. You can just like find it there on the website. And I actually put it on my Kindle by putting it on LibreOffice and then converting it to an EPUB and then converting it to AZW3 using this software called Caliber for ebooks. And I put it on my Kindle. It's really cool. And so I haven't read the whole sermon yet, but there's a lot of great stuff in here. So I thought I would share some of it. So just kind of like taking what I thought was really helpful for the Methodist moment here. So in paragraph 5, he separates it out in paragraphs, but I'll just go ahead and proceed. How naturally do those who experience such a change imagine that all sin is gone, that it is utterly rooted out of their heart and has no more any place therein? How easily do they draw that inference? I feel no sin, therefore I have none. It does not stir, therefore it does not exist. It has no motion, therefore it has no being. But it is seldom long before they are undeceived, finding sin was only suspended, not destroyed. Temptations return and sin revives, showing it was but stunned before, not dead. So those two quick passages, I really feel those for my faith journey. That is like, I have random insight that I never want to be like experiencing sin at all. I've been fully born of the Spirit and I'm not going to sin anymore. And then suddenly it's like, I'm tempted by like things of the world and so forth. And so it's very validating that John Wesley talks about this in this sermon here. And so then fast forwarding a little bit, he talks about being born again. From the time of our being born again, the gradual work of sanctification takes place. We are enabled by the Spirit to mortify the deeds of the body, of our evil nature. And we are more and more dead to sin. We are more and more alive to God. We sow on from grace to grace, while we are careful to abstain from all appearance of evil and are zealous of good works. as we have opportunity, doing good to all men, while we walk in all his ordinances blameless, therein worshiping him in spirit and in truth, while we take up our cross and deny ourselves every pleasure that does not lead us to God. It is thus that we wait for entire sanctification, for a full salvation from all our sins, from pride, self-will, anger, unbelief, or as the apostle expresses it, go unto perfection. But what is perfection? The word has various senses. Here it means perfect love. It is love excluding sin, love filling the heart, taking up the whole capacity of the soul. It is love rejoicing evermore, praying without ceasing, in everything giving thanks. And so, yeah, I just thought that this was like really powerful, and it really speaks to like so much, like being born again, and then also the idea of sanctification and perfection being of perfect love. And I love that because the mission statement for Palmdale United Methodist Church is inspired by Jesus to love. So, yeah, that's what I got.
Nice. That was a very meaningful Methodist moment.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Methodist moment.
Yes.
Yeah. So I might have more to share on the idea of being born again, but yeah. So it's really cool that we can find John Wesley's sermons in the public domain. We can just like read all of the stuff from the founder of Methodism.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. And I think Pastor Jim talked about John Wesley in the sermon. So that could be a good segue into sermon feedback.
And if he didn't, like maybe we give a shout out to the why do I always forget what it is? The Wesleyan Quadrilateral?
Yeah, exactly.
I always want to call it like the Methodist Quadrilateral, or
I think there might have been a point in time on the podcast we might have mistakenly said that. I'm not sure.
Think you might have, Tip. No, I'm just
no,
kidding.
It was totally me.
I would never make such a mistake.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
Yeah, and so once again, the what I quoted from the Methodist moment was The Scripture Way of Salvation, and it's by John Wesley. So if you search it in your favorite search engine, then you should be able to find it pretty easily.
I'm going to search it in my least favorite search engine. Probably
Firefox.
Firefox.
It's probably Bing. I never use Bing. I'm always offended when
Bing. We could use Ask Jeeves.
Yeah. What were the other ones? Alta Vista. There were so many.
It's amazing. Those were the days. Well, speaking of days, there's no crazy day like walking past a burning bush. This past Sunday, we heard from Pastor Jim from the sermon series Learn from the Trees. We focused on Exodus 3, and the theme or the focus for the subject was the burning bush. So pretty exciting sermon. I don't know about you guys, or if it got you guys fired up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was a good sermon.
But I'm interested in your guys' feedback with this.
Yeah, I thought this was a beautiful sermon, honestly, because it really like just brings forth that more like transparent relationship with God. Like the fact that Moses was like basically debating with God for like 2 chapters. I'm really encouraged to read that too now, because like that's, as believers, it's like we're not just gonna say we pray to God and then be like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do, and then like we don't even have a dialogue with God anyway. Like we don't try to contemplate with God, like saying, okay, what about this God? What about that God? Like we don't do any of that. No, we just it's just like hard, fast, one sentence. That there's no communication whatsoever. It's really validating to see that it's the exact opposite there with Moses. And it's kind of like when Pastor Jim was talking about Abraham, how we were thinking, oh, Abraham is like a big like man of faith, like for sure that he is just doing everything in such a devout manner. But no, he's just like totally like doubting that Sarah was gonna like be able to have a baby and like a pregnancy in her many years young. And so like the case of Moses, like I thought that Moses wouldn't be having a dialogue with God in that way. So it's really refreshing to see that. That's excellent. And then I was really happy to like have Pastor Jim, like where he shared the idea of curiosity. That I think is really powerful, because like putting it all together, what Pastor Jim had brought up, it's like, okay, it's just like a not holy place that this occurred with the bush, and like, but Moses was curious and then saw this bush that was flaming, and then he had a situation with God in which he was able to like have such an important, like powerful encounter. And that made me think about my own life. Like, it seems like there's just like these mundane sort of moments that, like just, I kind of went through the motions or whatever on a given day. And suddenly I have like a curious thought, and then like God, I think, meets me in that moment, and I have an insight on how I can like improve my life or make better decisions and kind of behave in a more practical or healthy way for my life. So that's just really cool that like you kind of put all that together. Like you have just that place there that's just not really holy in any way to completely change, and now God is totally in that moment. So I thought that was really interesting and cool. Those are, I think I might have had one or two other thoughts, but those are the ones that stood out the most to me for sure. I love the idea of having like a transparent relationship with God, where we bring all of that we have, our doubts, our fears, like our insights, we share them with God, and then also like anything else, like gratitude, and what we observe in the day, and so forth. So yeah, it's really nice. I think it's kind of an enriching sort of feeling that I'm getting now talking about it.
Yeah. Bethany takeaway. It sounds like I'm saying Bethany. Bethany takeaways.
Takeaways. Prayer requests. Whoa, let there be light.
Oh my gosh.
We might as well have been in like a dark room sleeping, and then someone turned the lights on you.
I think that's what God does in our lives.
Yeah, that is what God does in our lives. Of what God does in our lives. No.
I have an idea.
Light bulb. Well, it did get me thinking about how God is always putting us in situations that we don't think we're ready for.
Oh, yeah.
And like for me, it was the children's ministry. Like I was like, I don't want to lead this. I don't want to lead this by myself. And now I'm leading this, and I'm leading it by myself. And I think it's going
great.
Yeah, Beth, you're doing such a great job.
Thanks, guys. I'm not looking for praise, but I appreciate it. And then the second thing most recently is this boundaries class that I've been leading. I feel I like to joke, but it's not a joke, that I was catapulted into it due to circumstances in my life at the time. And then I was like, this needs to be for everybody else. Everybody else needs boundaries. But as I'm doing the class, I'm like, oh no, this was for me, so I can keep my boundaries up to protect myself. And so And then it made me think about improv, because what's improv? It's just yes anding. And so you can think about like things in God's timing, like yes anding to God. I was like, you can do this. And I'm like, no, wait, improv.
Yes, ending. I really like that.
You know, I felt that way at 1 a.m. when I couldn't sleep because my whole body was on fire and I was itching, and I was talking with God, and I said, yes. And what else you got?
Yeah, it works for both a positive and a negative spin.
Yeah, that's great. I like that.
And the other thing that kind of stuck out to me was, first of all, I appreciate the Ted Lasso shout out.
Yes.
I talked to Pastor Jim today in his office, and he was like, "Did you watch the sermon? I made a Ted Lasso reference." And I was like, "No, I haven't watched it yet." And then when he said about Moses, being curious, which would make Ted Lasso proud, because his thing is be curious, not judgmental. Yeah. And it isn't his quote, but it is a quote that's in the show. And so then when he said that, it made me laugh out loud, because I was like, oh, he spelled it out for us. Yay. Anyway. And then the second thing is when God said, what did he say? I am who I am. Oh yeah. Isn't that what Popeye also says? I am who I am. And that's,
yeah. Yeah. It is.
Oh, wow.
And then, excuse me, sir, young man.
Beth is talking to her dog for everyone listening.
My phone is in the hamper. Anyway, I was gonna. I
thought that's how you talk to Jesus. Excuse me, young man.
Time for prayer. If I'm not bothering you, my phone went. But it reminded me of an Eminem song, and I don't even know why I know Eminem songs. I think it's because my brothers liked him. Maybe they still do. Who knows? But there's a song that one of the lyrics are, I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would you say I am? And then it goes
the news every day. I am. And I don't know. It's just the way I am.
The way I am. Yeah. And I was like, why do I know that song? Is that Eminem? I think it is. But that's what that made me think of. And that's what God is also probably saying. I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would you say I am? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eminem is kind of astute, but, a
little vulgar. Vulgar for the quadrilateral there.
Right.
And I don't care what anybody says. He did not rhyme orange with banana by saying bornana. That's not rhyming.
Bornana.
My kids are always like, yeah, but he can rhyme orange with banana. And I'm like, no, the heck he cannot.
Right. That's funny.
That's my stance on Eminem and Pastor Jim's podcast. His sermon, not his podcast.
Pastor has a secret podcast called The Real Methodist to the Madness.
Oh, secret Eminem fan. And then in parentheses, that's just the way I am.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. Those 2 points, Beth. I think I was going to talk about that. I'll mention briefly because I already gave. But basically, the idea that like God is with us in each moment, and that is so powerful. Like that. So he was with Moses at the time that Moses needed him, and then it's the same thing with us. Like in my life, in Jessica's life, in your life, Beth. It's like that's such a powerful thing, and it's hard to like describe how powerful that is when you're experiencing it. And then the other thing is like God meets us where we are right now, and I think that's kind of how I see like the I am who I am. It's like whoever God needs to be in that moment when we need him, he is that God is that person for us. And I think that's where like God's name, I am who I am, is so powerful for us as believers, and just in general. and then I think that Jesus says the same thing about how he refers to himself as I am. So that's just really a powerful thing. And I like how Pastor Jim mentioned how it's sort of I can't remember how he described it, that the scholars talking about it. But basically it's a very hard to interpret like thing, I think, in general. And but it's so powerful, like when you really wrap your head around it. And so I'm really glad Pastor Jim talked about it. That's awesome.
Yeah. I love how honest Moses was. He was like, please send someone else.
Please send someone else.
You sure?
I mean, I feel like for the missions team, that should be the shirt on the shirt should say PUMC missions team, please send someone else.
That's the slogan for the visitation team as well. At least if I was on it. Yeah, please send someone else. That's my slogan for the visitation team.
Anyway,
please send someone else.
Obviously, we wouldn't do that, but
I would. No, just kidding.
So honest, just in terms of like, and it just, kind of really is humbling. Just the fact that, listen, we're just humans. Mm-hmm. Like no, we don't feel like a lot of the times that, we can do things, and, maybe we feel like there's times where we don't like you guys had talked about earlier, we don't feel like we're in the right place, that we don't feel like we're capable. And God is constantly reminding us, I'll be there with you,
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where, I feel like it's so important for us, as Pastor Jim mentioned, to continue discovering more and more about who God truly is. And that will allow us to kind of have our journey with God be expansive, but also in the lens and perspective of, us really diving into our relationship with him. And so, and it's okay to be honest about our relationship, just like in our updates, how it's like, not all of us are consistent with our devotions. Do we want to be? Totally.
Yeah.
But we're human, so it's like it's just that thing of, giving ourselves grace and knowing that God's always going to be with us through those hard times. And at the end of the day, it's just remembering that God is with us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I couldn't have said that better myself, Jessica. That was great.
You might have been able to, Tim. You probably could have said bigger words.
I don't know.
Involve the Wesleyan quadrilateral somehow. I'm confident in that.
Thanks. But yeah, I think that's really powerful to like be able to not be in a position where we're accidentally putting God in a box. I think it's so important that we continually try to figure out who God truly is and expand our understanding of God. Like there's like God is just ever expanding. And so our understanding ought to try to meet God where he is, basically. So that's like a really great reminder. I'm trying to think of a way to put together the Wesleyan quadrilateral here. Well, I do know that we're meeting our experience with Moses' experience, and that's like a really validating thing. So the experience part of the Wesleyan quadrilateral really like comes into play here. And then like the scripture that like you have 2 chapters where Moses is talking to God about all of the what if we go about it this way so Moses can get out of it. And so then we find ourselves there with our experience, and then we see the scripture, and that's really a wonderful thing. So, yeah, I guess I did find something to say about that. I don't know if I should just make that a tradition to mention the Wesleyan quadrilateral.
Have to. Never.
Okay.
Just go
Sweet.
with the flow.
Yeah.
Go where the spirit leads them.
That's great. Very nice. Yeah, I won't go out of my way for it, but I will keep it.
But if it fits, it fits.
If it fits.
It's a thing.
Indeed. Yes. It seems that one of us ends up bringing it up, and then there's something to say. So yeah, it's good.
Well, let's go ahead and head into, what do we call it?
Prayer requests.
I wasn't going to do the Mortal Kombat thing with prayer requests like last episode. Remember?
So I'll go ahead and start and get this one out of the way pretty quick. Prayers for us, as this is my last podcast for like 6 weeks. And,
that's right.
And by this time next week, we'll likely have a small child, and we'll finally get to know if it's a boy or girl. And not only that, but hopefully by then the itchiness will be gone. Because guys, that's a huge prayer request right now. Is this?
Oh wow!
It's so intense. But man, just prayers for Amber and I as we get to welcome the new member of our family.
Wow. Yeah, definitely, like really heartfelt prayers for you and Amber through this period of your life, this really important period, Jessica.
Thanks, Tim. So anyway, what about you guys? What's happening?
Tim, you can go.
Okay. I think that I could use a prayer for continuing to be mindful about my time, like really getting to that point where I'm like, okay, I really am doing only important things that I deem to be important. Like other people might not think that watching anime or something like that is important. Like there's no way that they're going to think the same way as me on that necessarily at a given time. Or I might suddenly what?
Unless they like anime.
Yeah, unless they like anime, then they'll think it's important too. But also like I might decide that anime is no longer important. It's completely unimportant. Like I could legitimately just go ahead and do that. Yeah. So a prayer for me to actually, like, if I deem something important, then to commit myself to that time and not commit myself to unimportant time, because that's just a waste of time. Like by definition, like I think a waste of time would be like doing things that are unimportant. Like, I don't know, waste of time is sort of like an informal way to say something about time, but
I just feel like
that's what.
Never mind. It's very user specific on what is to be a waste of time.
Oh, I apologize. I'm having word problems again.
No, you're having word problems. You math people and your word problems.
Word problems. Yeah. So a prayer for me on that, and then also a prayer for me to continue on the path of like learning more about what it means to be born again as a Christian. I think that's a really important thing for me as in my faith journey. So hopefully that can really be something that Jesus shines his light on for me. So yeah, I just thought of VBS, shining Jesus' light.
Thanks God.
And thanks God, yeah.
Shine Jesus light. That's the one. That was the one.
Yeah. Stellar, shining Jesus light.
That was a stellar VBS, by the way. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So those are my prayer requests. What do you have, Beth?
Well, Jessica's baby will be able to tell you what it's like to be born the first time.
Oh.
Instead of born again. Maybe he will forget by the time you ask.
Jessica, at some point I will ask your baby, what was it like to be born? And then your baby will have some response that will really
baby will be like, this guy's weird.
It'll give me the insight that I'm looking for regarding
like,
being born again. I'll understand. What did you say, Beth?
The baby will be like, Mom. The baby will be like, Moms, do I have to answer this guy's questions? And then the moms will be like, no. I don't know. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
We'll scream stranger danger and run. No, Tim, we won't do that to you.
Oh, goodness. That reminds me. My friend's son, like, are you frozen? You were, now you're not. Anyway, my friend told me about how her son, it's because my internet connection is unstable, so I'll make this quick. Her son was supposed to go to speech class, like in between like classes at school, but nobody told him this. Like, so this guy just like comes in the middle of class and was just like, okay, it's time to go to speech class. And like, he wouldn't go with him because he was like, I don't know who you are. And like, I wasn't aware that I was supposed to be in speech class. And so like, so he didn't end up going that day because nobody told him. But I just thought, how cool is that? Like now his mom knows that if a stranger tries to take him, like he's going to say, nope, I don't know you. And like,
wow,
pick him,
that's
probably.
really interesting. I like that.
Like that's, and it was like a low stakes, like kind of situation that he got to practice it in. It ended up not being anything dangerous, but I was just like, good for him. Like being able to say, nope, I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. I'm not going with you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That was really cool. It's one of Jonah's friends.
That's kind of like, Beth, that's kind of like practicing boundaries in a way.
It is, yeah. And his mom instilled that in him. So, and I was just like, good job, Mom. Good job, mom's kid. Because I'm not saying names.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Wow.
But anyway, my prayer request is this. I'll preface it by telling you that like Craig was telling me he I think it was on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. He was telling me that like he's going to need to go to Georgia for like 4 days to, take care of this big work problem that they're having. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. And then he was like, but I'll definitely be back, in time for the boys' birthdays. And like, because he said that just caused me to go into like this, like, spiral, and I just started crying.
Wow.
And it's not even like for reasons like I don't know. I just was like, because he mentioned the boys' birthdays, I realized, those are this weekend. Like I knew that they were coming up, but I just forgot to prepare myself. They're next week, Beth. Owen's birthday is the 29th, and then Jonas is 3 days later on April 1st. I had the same due date for both of them, March 25th. That's a cool fun fact for you.
That's awesome.
But anyway, it just made me realize that like their birthdays are coming up, and I still haven't, sent out graduation pictures of Owen, and I still didn't get any graduation invitations out. And like, I didn't make any, it just reminded me that time is slipping away and I need to get stuff done. And then, so Craig's just like, what? Like, why are you crying? And I'm like, I just didn't realize there's so much stuff I need to do and like not enough time to do it.
Wow.
And then like, Craig figured out how he could fix the problem without having to leave. He was like, I can do it remotely by doing this. And then he doesn't like to travel, doing the work travel stuff anyway. So it wasn't like he was doing that just for me. He also just doesn't like to do the work travel. And so
we're going to say that he did it for you.
I know, but that makes me feel worse because I hate it when people do things for me. I don't know. It's like, how dare you help me? I want to just suffer all the time. Please and thank you.
No.
So just prayers that I can like, well, also I did Zoom with my dad yesterday, and I at least told him the date or like around the time that he can expect Owen to be graduating. So that was another thing. I was like, my dad doesn't know. And really it's like, I think it's just going to be my mom and like my dad and maybe his wife that come out. So like, as long as they know, I don't need to get invitations out or whatever, you know, I can just send those out and then people send Owen money or whatever. But that is what they do. And then like the graduation pictures, like I have until like, I don't know, 2 years from now. I have until like, I don't know. I don't have to order them right now. I probably should. But so I'm just stressing out for no reason about stuff. And like, I just need to remember.
God is with you.
Yeah. God will help you through all of it.
just help me to remember to take things one day at a time and like not stress out about everything. And like he is gonna like, and it's just the fact that he said, "Oh, I'll be back in time for the boys' birthdays." I was like, oh, and then I just like had a breakdown. I'm like, oh no,
yeah.
No. And so yeah,
I can totally relate to like suddenly having some sort of like emotional, like, just kind of being shaken emotionally. I totally understand how that feels, Beth.
And part of it was like, oh no, we haven't finalized what the kids want to do for their birthdays. I haven't bought all of their birthday presents yet. I haven't sent out the graduation invitations. I haven't sent out graduation pictures. And then like, that was all within a span of like, I don't know, 5 seconds where all of that came flooding out of my eyes, I guess.
That's now I have another comic strip, like imaginary picture in my mind, just like the all these thoughts flooding out of your eyes, Beth.
So that's all. Like, just, yeah. Just
It reminds me of the Parks and Rec episode where April accidentally schedules 93 meetings for Ron in one day because she didn't think that that date was actually
March
real.
31st.
I think so.
Or something.
Something like that. And then all of a sudden everything happened at once. And
oh my God.
So I feel like you're
Ron Swanson.
You're basically Ron Swanson right now, and you have 93 meetings pending.
Yeah.
Except I'm April Ludgate and Ron Swanson in this scenario.
Anyway, it reminded me of that, but they got through it, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
God was by their side, probably. That was the moral of that episode, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was for sure.
Yeah, Beth, I definitely prayers for you on that. And yeah, I'm absolutely sure you will get through all of it. You've been through so much and all these different scenarios, so you can do this one too.
Yeah, it's also just because like stuff has been really emotionally charged over here. Like,
oh yeah.
With different things in my life, both in my family life and in my personal life. And so I'm just like on edge a little bit about a lot.
Yeah. Right.
That's okay. Like, I think that, continue feeling those feelings and, I'm confident that you will get done with everything, but
oh, that's so cute.
Don't put pressure on specific deadlines that you feel like you have to have them done. Think about what is the most important thing. Make your lists.
Right.
That way you can see it.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Yeah, that's the key right there.
Plan, and it's made specifically for that kind of stuff. There's like so many different planner styles in it, and it's also to help you like with those hard tasks. And the way it's designed is like you don't have to use it every day. You can use it when you need it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
forgetting to use when you need it. So that's a good reminder for me.
Yeah, for sure. I really like that about using the planner or other tools for productivity as like a reminder or like actually useful, not something that we're required to do or obligated to do, but something we choose to use to help us feel better or help us be more motivated or get more things done.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, Beth. I think prayers for you on that. Absolutely.
Thanks, Tim. Anyway,
had such an enlightening episode, guys.
Yeah, this is it's kind of like a flaming bush, not a burning bush, but a flaming bush or whatever. However, the Bible artfully described that.
Yeah,
that's right. Because it could have been volcanic.
Yeah, a volcanic bush. That's awesome. I'm just going to think of it that way instead of the burning bush, a volcanic bush. So I don't think maybe our episode wasn't quite a volcano, but it definitely was.
Definitely went stagnant at one point.
It was ignited, and that actually is our youth group. And I didn't mean pun intended. Pun intended. Yes.
Did it. Well, I feel like the next time it'll just be Tim and me on the podcast. And maybe a special guest if we can get that together. And maybe by this time next week, there will be a little baby Jessica and Amber. I'm pretending that Amber's DNA is also in it, but
we're pretending too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even know what the baby's eyes are going to look like, but I already know the first thing I'm going to say to Amber is, "Oh, the baby has your eyes."
Yes.
Nice. I'll be honest, I'm confident the baby will not, but you should.
I know, because you told me that because aren't Amber's eyes blue?
They're like a hazelish greenish color, and our donor's Indian and has like really dark brown eyes. So.
Usually brown is the dominant eye color. I have blue eyes. Craig has brown eyes. Both of my kids have brown eyes.
Whoa!
Not of Indian in any of them. And I did the DNA ancestry.
Did you?
Yeah. And both of my parents are my parents. So
okay.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got a biology lesson here. I forgot about dominant and recessive traits.
I used to love that stuff when I like the Punnett squares when I was a kid. I was fascinated by that. And then it got more complicated as you learn more about biology. And then I just was like, this is too hard. I don't understand. But man, Punnett squares were my jam in elementary school.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Beth, you mentioned. I think you said that Craig had a work problem. I thought you said word problem.
Well, he probably can convert it into a word problem if you want him to. But his work is computers, so
Oh, okay. Okay.
With you.
Very nice.
All right. Did we solve all the problems?
We solved everything in this podcast. So
indeed, it was very, very exciting. I'm looking forward to next. Stay mad, you Methodists.
Yeah, I got Tim to say it.
Different names, no matter what life brings us. Jesus is the same. We're just your Methodists to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness.